Hi, this is Lynn Suzek, and I am your faith coach. Okay, so keeping myself in the thinking on things of faith, I listened to a Curry Blake video on, can't remember what it was on yet. So the part that I found helpful on there, because he always gets into legalism eventually, and I always get that's enough. Stop sin focusing, because that just stops our faith from working. If all you're thinking about is, well, let's see, am I in sin or not? Do I need to, it's like God said in the New Testament, you're not to be sin focused anymore, because Jesus took our sins, and a lot of people won't agree with that, but that's the truth. That is the gospel. So he talks about in faith, when you're praying over something, it's called praying for your family, how to pray over your family or something, and how sometimes we can pray over people and see things happen, but how to get the best results for yourself and your family can be a little different, because we don't always think the same for ourselves and our family as we do for others. So what he said was, before you get to pray over the person, start thinking about them being well and imagine it before you get there. And I believe that's true. He said people can be healed before you even touch them or pray over them, just without you saying anything. So this is part of faith and prayer. I know imagination. Andrew Womack talks about it. It's getting louder here. Andrew Womack talks about the power of imagination, and its part that's played in faith. Now, I know of a lot of people with mental illness problems that just allow themselves to not guard their mind and totally just allow the focus of basically demonic stuff to take place. And this, we can use our imagination both ways, and cause problems or cause wellness in ourselves and others. So don't underestimate the power of thinking and believing that person is going to be well before you even speak or try to pray traditionally. So that's actually helpful for me to explain what I've been doing and focus on that part of faith. And we want to get our imagination going to where we're rewiring our own brain, as Caroline Leaf would say. And I'm starting to make a little bit of progress with that, because I know my imagination is kind of broken from the time when I was a child, and I was overusing it and daydreaming, and couldn't pay attention, and getting in lots of trouble in school for daydreaming. But now I'm trying to start learning how to use the daydreaming on purpose for faith, imagining myself walking and things. Well, I used to think, okay, I know I'm supposed to imagine myself walking, and this helps manifest your healing. So now, a step further, what we believe, and see in our heart will manifest by, it's kind of like I said, rewiring your brain. My thoughts all day long have been programmed as a handicapped person, like needing help doing stuff. As soon as I have a thought to do anything, my thought is, it's either I need to ask somebody, or how how am I going to do that with the way I am now? What I need to do is focus and think about doing it well with my hands working, and start thinking about making dinner. What do I want to do to make dinner today? And think things that I used to think, like imagining myself cutting up the onions and getting the meat out and thawing it myself. And this is part of what it takes to manifest your healing. So not receiving a bad report is the beginning, but when we are already in the situation for years, we've rewired our brain to think sick and think handicapped. Now, undoing that requires you to imagine going to use, whatever you used to do, use the bathroom the normal way, like not having to take care of yourself the way that you are sick or handicapped, injured, but imagining all the things that you're doing well, because you are using your imagination all day long as a sick person if you're not on purpose doing this rewiring. So it's going to take some effort, and yet there are these things that we can do to promote the manifestation of moving forward with healing. The healing that we already have, we already, God provided it and it's already ours. But if we keep thinking how to do things sick or injured or handicapped, then we're not even this is part of unbelief, really. It's a part of unbelief to keep like how you're going to get from here to there in the wheelchair or walking. You have to totally start imagining yourself every minute of the day, which is going to require you to be like, it's going to take some prayer. For me, I'm going to be praying in tongues and force myself to do that, because as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So this is part of what, rewiring your brain into your healing. Okay, so looking for what time is it? Okay. So Curry Blake was talking about the emitting of faith without even words before you get there. And he says, don't wait until you pray over the person to imagine they now are going to get up and walk. Start before you get there, and that alone can cause the healing to manifest before you even speak. So now we're getting understanding how to get closer to Paul. Paul's shadow fell on them, or people just getting healed without being touched, or all the things, with the prayer clause, and power being just given while we don't have to actually touch or speak to a person through our thoughts. Start thinking about the person getting up and eating and all the things that you're trying to think. Just keep imagining that. And yourself, if you're like me, almost 36 years in a wheelchair, you got some work to do. Undoing your daily minute by minute thinking and starting to reimagine how you do this by getting up and walking across the room and opening the door with your hand and cooking and doing all the other things. So it's an all day long process that is part of faith, okay? So I just wanted to share that's where I am right now with my progress in how to progress into faith and what I've been doing that's been successful, praying for others specifically and not even realizing necessarily that's what I've been doing. But that is what I've been doing. People have prayed with me and said, imagine yourself on the other side of that healing already. It's, you know, you just have to think it's done. So a lot to think about. Thanks for listening and have a good one.